Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw the end of the Bronze Age, and hence the beginning of the Iron Age. We saw in Europe, we saw the Brown, the Maroon Country and their alliance successfully defeated the Circle Alliance. This saw the Brittany Country falling back to this border here, and they're now completely isolated from the rest of their alliance. And yeah, at this point, the Square Alliance is pretty powerful, and they have a lot of control over Europe at this point. The only country who is really kind of separate is the Pink Team. The Balkan area has these guys influencing them, so on and so forth. And yeah, without further ado, if you haven't seen the previous episodes, go watch those because spoilers are ahead for more that's going to be happening here. And also, I want to say that I'm going to be trying to do this all in one clip. This is already my second time recording this because I got interrupted. And yeah, I want to try to do more of these in one clip so I have to spend less time editing and I can keep this uploading everyday schedule going. Of course, I'm going to be on spring break now, so I'm going to have a lot more time to do stuff. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right on into this video. And we're going to be starting off over here in this uh, area that I'm blanking on for whatever reason. Is Great Britain. I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but we're going to be starting off over here in Great Britain. Because believe it or not, the Marin team isn't completely immune to what happened in the last episode. Although they did show their strength over another group, that doesn't mean they are unstable from within. They are unstable from within, because as we can see here, a massive rebellion has gone ahead and started up in the Cornwall region. And that's not the only region, because in northern England, this rebellion also will show its face, as these people don't want to be a part of the Dutch kind of empire that's going on here anymore, and they want to have their own independence. And these people want to separate entirely from the Maroon country. These rebellions also appear in former Brittany owned land, but these rebellions are likely not going to succeed given that the Maroon team is already beginning to push these ones back. This one just got divided in two, and yeah, exactly what I just said. But heading on up to England, we're going to see that Ireland will very easily begin to fold over to these guys. And yeah, the Irish will pretty easily begin to fall over, as I mean, well, there's not many people living here, and it is pretty intent on separating from the Maroon team. Anyways, from here we head up to the north, where these two groups will connect up. However, they reach a problem with Scotland because Scotland doesn't really want to be a part of this weird rebellion thing because they don't trust that they're going to be getting their own independence separate from this thing. This thing says it's going to allow the separation in it to like have a whole bunch of different countries forming, but the Scots don't believe that, so they're going to remain for now. But Wales will go ahead and take up that offer. And at this point, we're going to see the Maroon team very quickly getting squeezed out of the rest of England. There was no shot they were ever going to win that battle. And now it's just the Battle of Scotland. And this blue country is very intent on claiming this land. And they will go ahead and do exactly that. And guess what? Exactly what the Scots feared is going to be happening here. This thing will not allow any single country to break away from it. They're gonna keep a firm grasp over their territory with their capital over here in this English area here. And yeah, with that, we now have Great Britain. Oh no, that's never a good thing. We should probably never have that. So yeah, this is your fault. I blame you, Marine Team. Anyways, we can go ahead and talk about alliances now because this guy, this weird banana kind of colored country, very irrelevant. Well, they're not going to be completely irrelevant anymore because they are going to go ahead and join up with the Square Alliance here, which makes them relevant. Yes, they just wanted to be relevant to the lore. That's the only reason why they joined this alliance. But being serious, this guy, they were already building relations with the Square Alliance. If I remember correctly, I know I'm like not good at remembering things, but I'm pretty sure the Maroon team helped them gain their independence. I could be wrong. My brain's not functioning right. I should remember this, but I think they had something to do with this. And also, if you haven't noticed, I have fully redone the borders around here. This region I somehow forgot to do, so I'm going to be very quickly editing this, fixing it up. It shouldn't take all that much to do. That is probably most of what I had to do right there. Maybe change it up there. And yeah, now we have some good borders over here. I've extended it all the way over to Central Asia and this border here. Anything past this border to the east, however, though, is not updated. And anything past this line in Africa can't be updated, so there isn't any update there. Africa is fine, Europe is fine, and the Middle East is fine. Central Asia is fine as well. Just this Asian area over here hasn't been touched. Speaking of, we get to talk about these guys for a brief moment because they have some capitals we need to place down, and I removed the capital color, so I have to go back and get it. Fantastical. But now, yeah, we're going to see these guys placing their capitals. This guy will place theirs on the river, but I don't want to place it too close to the river so I can actually see it when the capitals aren't enabled. And this guy will be also placing theirs on, like, a kind of river thing. I believe that's about north of where Pyongyang is in real life. It's either north or south. I always forget which side of it it is on. But yeah, it's kind of where Pyongyang is. It's not Pyongyang, though, and it never will be. So, yeah. And yeah, let's completely ignore that region now because we are disabling the alliances layer to talk about you. I don't like you. So we're going to be getting rid of you. And to start this off, we're going to be seeing a rebellion from this Macedonian kind of region. I'm also going to give them that island because I feel like they should have that island. And yeah, this region is very quickly going to gain some power over this weird Albanian thing. And the Albanian country will be forced to spit this guy out entirely. And that is a little concerning because this guy is absolutely tiny. How did you get beaten by them? And then the Greeks are like, okay, we're going to do exactly what they did, and we're going to attack you. And very quickly, will this Albanian country learn that its future is not gonna exist. In real terms, though, we're gonna see that the Greek country will go ahead and expand up to this area up here. They take a lot of land with them, and yeah, that's a pretty healthy bite of land. And you should probably try to stabilize yourself before yet another rebellion. And I'm gonna get a different color for this because I don't have any colors to use. I do, but I'm just not remembering what colors I've used and what ones I haven't. So yeah. Anyways, this thing that I've just created will be getting its independence as well, and it will have absolutely hideous borders. That's half to the fault of me creating this thing, half to the fault of me not being able to draw on good borders for it. But yeah, this is what we're gonna be working with. Each of these guys will get their own new capitals. Neither of them are on the coast, which is kind of weird, but you know what? You do you, honestly. Nobody cares. From here, it's a little confusing where I want to go because the last few ages, they've barely been about what they are. I might have talked about this before, but these ages, they aren't exactly based on what the age is called, and I kind of want to shift that up sometime soon. It probably can't come in the Iron Age because the Iron Age is really just when they used iron equipment. It more so fits into like the early classical age, which is like Rome and Greece and whatnot. So yeah, I don't really know how to do that. So expect probably the next age we'll see more of that, but I'll try to be incorporating it here. And that's why I brought this up because unlike the Bronze Age, the bronze equipment wasn't really like only in one place. This iron equipment has very quickly spread across the entire world. Maybe not to these guys over here in East Asia, but maybe to the rest of these guys, and maybe they're fighting each other with iron shields and iron swords. Who knows? But yeah, let's see that happening. We head on over to I had a place in mind. Oh yeah, we're gonna be heading on over to this area here, where we have a whole bunch of countries who are independent. They just got their independence, and we're gonna be seeing one of them attacking another one. And this is none other than this great country. This great country will be attacking their southern neighbor. Now, why are they doing this? I don't know, but they're gonna be doing it, and they are pretty equally matched in terms of technology. Of course, both of these countries have Iron Age technology, but this one has a slight edge because they have a higher population, higher land size, higher military personnel, if it really can be called that at this point. But yeah, we're going to see this guy getting absolutely obliterated. And they're going to be erased from the map. And that's kind of our first war that isn't really regionally large in scale. So yeah, it's kind of weird because I just have this dot here. So I'm gonna kind of make this in advance, but this is kind of something that will be more important later. Not at all now because for certain these won't exist, but we're gonna see a major city being drawn in here. I'm gonna have this layer disabled until major cities actually become an important thing. I just want to make sure that city doesn't get erased because it's not like it got completely destroyed off the map. It's still there. Anyways, we head to the two oldest countries in the world, the red and blue team, because these two are beefing. More so, the blue team wants to control this region over here because the red team is not very how do I put this good at exploring and using the water, so they feel like they're entitled to the right of doing that. It's kind of weird. And also, I'm noticing now that these are two different shades of water, and I don't like that. So I'm going to be trying to fix this while I talk about it. But yeah, the red team doesn't believe that the blue team doesn't believe that the red team deserves access to the water, and it's kind of justified because the red team, most of what they're doing is over here in the Persian Gulf, and they aren't really using this vast Mediterranean coast. And basically, what we see here is the Egyptians, they're going to use religion. Religion is something that has briefly been talked about in pretty much every episode here, and that is that the religion that's here in Egypt has slowly been crawling out into this Palestinian Israeli kind of area. I'm not going to say either or. I'm just gonna say both whenever I talk about it because it's kind of controversial and I don't want to get into that. So yeah, we're gonna see that the religion of the Egyptian country is spreading up northward. And the blue team kind of wants to keep this religion within its borders because the red team is they're a little scary when they come to religion because look at what kind of happened to that area that you lost over here. It immediately changed. And then, yeah, let's try to avoid that. But yeah, either way, we're gonna see that the blue team will launch an invasion into the red team. It will very quickly begin to push up the Israeli-Palestinian kind of coastline here. I'm just gonna say the Eastern Mediterranean coastline, and yeah, this will see detrimental effects for the red team. As a red team, of course, they still use this water, maybe lessened, but they still use it. So yeah, they're gonna see a whole bunch of struggles here, but eventually the blue team will make a deal with the red team, which will eventually cause a new border to be created, one that does not at all favor the red team. The red team is kind of sad because they wanted this area, and even though they didn't use it appropriately, they don't have it anymore. So, yeah, poor you, red team. Anyways, we head on over to the island of Sardinia because this thing will go ahead and begin a revolution. And this revolution is pretty irrelevant at first, but it's kind of important because the yellow Roman country, they've been around for a little bit, and they had a huge collapse that trapped them in the Italian peninsula. And yeah, they haven't lost anything since, other than my border consolidations, which isn't really them losing land. It's kind of just actually defining borders. And yeah, this is kind of big because it's doing exactly that. And this Sardinian island will do it relatively easily, showing that the Italian country is not only weak, but also irresponsible. They are unable to hold on to land that probably shouldn't be able to gain its independence. That doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, we're going to see this island, Sardinia, here, being able to attain its independence without much of a fight. And this is, once again, pretty big because it shows how the Roman Italian kind of country is completely unable to stop this from happening. They are the only country that's completely like this. I mean, the pink team, it happened to them, but they're stable now. Um, I mean, you are probably about to explode, so I can't really talk about you. The purple team, it happened to them, but they're doing fine now. And yeah, there's nobody else in that situation currently right now, at least that I can think of. Maybe you will be. I mean, you lost these guys over here, so that's definitely a possibility. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. So, yeah, we can go ahead and not talk about that. Anyways, we head on over to Scandinavia because I'm tired about yapping about Sardinia. We're going to be talking about these guys because they have done a lot of exploring and I am on the wrong layer. Yay! That's fantastic. Anyways, back to it. These guys have been doing a lot of exploring and they have made their way all the way through most of the Scandinavian area here, and they're just going to kind of keep going. Eventually, they're going to reach this Finnish area here, and yeah, they've also been exploring the coastline. We kind of left these guys alone for a little bit, and they've kind of been doing their own thing. So, yeah. Anyways, these guys will go ahead and begin their expansion northward. First of all, the Swedish country will be expanding to this kind of point here, and I'm going to create that very quick diagonal line because I need to draw in the Norwegian half of the border, which looks like this for now. And these guys will be expanding up northward pretty quickly. And we'll start off with the Swedish because it's a little easier to do them. And yeah, the Swedish country, they're going to see a lot of territorial gain because, I mean, they are a little more prominent here and they definitely have a larger population. So they're going to be able to take more land easily. Whereas the Norwegians kind of get stuck with this mountainous bit here. It's kind of sucky for them, but they're going to have to deal with it. Anyways, that's it for Scandinavia for now, because we get to head on over to the Baltic region, which is really close, because this area has now been fully explored, and this Finnish area has been discovered. And yeah, that just linked up, and yeah, things are beginning to come into play here, because now, oh, these guys know exactly where this connects. They didn't think it connected. They thought this was its own little part of a new continent or something, or it was just a really large island. Who knows? But yeah, now they know. And they're going to be using this information to expand upwards. More particularly, this banana kind of country will be expanding upwards into the Baltic region, taking over all of this land here. This is a very healthy amount of land, and you probably shouldn't take that much, but you know what? You do you. And yeah, we're going to fix that border up there. And now we're going to see a whole bunch of settlers from this Baltic region here. They're going to be forced out entirely. And we're going to see that the Finnish kind of group is kind of like a weird mixture of the Baltic people, the natives that were living in Finland, as well as people from the Yellow country. Yellow countries, these two are probably working together on this kind of thing. And yeah, it's just having a bad effect on the people that live in the Baltic region, and so they're being forced to move up into this Finnish area. And yeah, let's talk about their capital. Their capital will be placed over here in the western side of the country. It will be right there. I might move it a little inland. I think that looks good for now. I might change it later. It's kind of bugging me how far west it is, but you know what? That's not my problem right now. Because my problem right now is talking to you about this video because it is about 20 minutes long at this point, and episode 5 did really well at 22 minutes. So I'm trying to make this 22 minutes. So this is probably going to be the last event in this video because, well, the way I want things to go, I want to be able to do content and it perform well and it actually be worth my time. So yeah, I want to see if my theory is correct about it being about 22 minutes, the ideal time, before someone clicks on a video. And at least that's for a WICSO video because episode 5 did really well, and I want to see if I can replicate it just by copying the time, but I don't know how well that will work. So yeah, we're gonna try that. And one last event before I wrap things up here, we're gonna see these East Asian countries. They're gonna be expanding outwards. This Korean guy, they're gonna expand over this way, and this Chinese guy, they're gonna begin to expand upwards. And yeah, I think at this point we are done. That's gonna do it for today's episode. And before I do go, I want to thank you all for 1,000 views on episode 5. As of recording this, I'm almost at 200 subscribers. That will be marvelous once we hit. It's probably gonna fluctuate around it when we hit it, so it's not gonna be like a joy I get to keep. I'm gonna have to like begin begging again, even though I never really was begging. Yeah, I'll have to like keep this up because otherwise I'd be losing too many subscribers, and that's not something you want to do. Anyways, once again, that's gonna do it for this video. We are rounding that 22-minute point, so this is when the theory comes into play. And one last time, I want to say go watch the episodes before this because there is a lot to see. Uploaded the second arc. We are on the third arc right now, and I'm trying to remember if I have anything else to talk about. I don't think I do. Um, I'll say the next age will be starting in episode 13, meaning this age will be ending in episode 12. And I think that's all I have to say. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you have made it this far. Like the video if you enjoyed, so it tells me to keep making videos like this. And I will see you all in the next one. Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we're going to be continuing to look at the what if civilization started over scenario. In the last episode, we saw the Iron Age kind of commencing. We saw the British Isles gaining its independence. We saw the island of Sardinia gaining independence. This guy over here fell apart, and a lot more happened. Not that I remember, because my brain is not letting me remember. I think it was up here and whatnot. But last episode was very Europe-oriented, so I want to not be Europe-oriented for this episode, because there's a lot I want to do, and I'm just not focusing on it. Also, this is a point in the video where I will say, if you have not seen the episodes before this one, go watch them, because there will be spoilers of how things play out ahead. And we are, this is the second episode of this age. We have a few more episodes before I want to end it, so yeah, there isn't probably going to be much spoiler-wise of how timeline progresses here. But either way, you should probably watch the previous episodes first. And also, before I do move on, I do want to say that episode 8 has only been out for an hour now, and it's already performing really well. So I think my theory about making episodes about 22 minutes long is pretty correct, and I'm probably going to keep doing stuff like that. So yeah, this video is going to come out on Monday the 16th when I'm already on spring break. So yeah, I'll have a lot of time to record videos, so I'm probably going to have most of the stuff through the week after spring break recorded before spring break's even done. Yeah, because it's Saturday today and I'm recording Monday's video, so I think that says quite a bit. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right on into this scenario. And yeah, we can start in multiple different places, but I feel like the place I want to start the most is over here in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, I've literally done absolutely nothing with so far. It's just had these two countries like this for basically its entire existence in the series, or Discovery, rather. And yeah, let's change that. Starting over here with this guy. This guy is going to go ahead and consolidate its borders to the north because I don't like how it just looks really plain over here. And yeah, I'm slowly working towards making the whole map this kind of border consolidated area. And this is the one area where that hasn't really happened yet. So I kind of am going to be doing it as it progresses, but at the same time, probably not. I'll probably like do some of it off camera. Like India, that's quite a bit. I'm probably gonna do that in between videos. But over here in China, I could probably draw in borders because there are only three countries in the Chinese area: Korea, the Vietnamese thing, and of course this blue Chinese country here. So yeah. Anyways, that's enough of me yapping. Let's talk about you still, because you are going to be exploring southwards. Southwards is into this Thailand kind of area, an area that has only ever been a part of Vietnam, if I do believe so, in Ada's Pros WICSO series. So this area is um a little more interesting for me to talk about because yeah, we're gonna see a completely different country from a different region, kind of just claiming it. And yeah, what I want to kind of do here is do something like this. We're gonna see Thailand breaking away, and of course, as I was saying earlier, we're gonna see this country creating this consolidated border here because these borders I want to have so I don't have to go back and do them later. It just helps me out a lot. And yeah, now we get to talk about this guy because this guy has been exploring all this area here, and they're gonna connect up here as well. And just to make things easier, I'm gonna do that. The Vietnamese country will go ahead and expand into all this land here. It's not much, but it is pretty valuable. You can grow a lot of stuff here. So yeah, they're probably gonna utilize that to their best. They're also going to expand northward, which is going to cause some internal problems. And what does internal problems do to you? Well, it creates a region of you that's no longer a region of you. We're going to see this part of South China, and I'm actually going to expand it a little, breaking away from Vietnam. And this is pretty big because this is technically the second country in China. And China over here is doing absolutely nothing. So let's check up on what they've been doing. And I'm kind of rushing this. I probably shouldn't rush this, but with how long I have to make these videos, it's a little necessary. But yeah, as you can see how much I'm putting down on this recolor tool, you can see that these guys have been exploring quite a bit. Now, we finally get to talk about how these guys have been expanding. Starting off with this guy. They started off expanding into this southern coastal area here, and they have gone ahead and claimed quite a bit of it, and they've incorporated it pretty well. As well as this, they have expanded up into the Shandong region. At least I think that's what it's called. I know there's like this German port here that's called Qingdao from when Germany colonized it, so I don't know. As well as all that expansion out that way, we see this guy expanding inwards, which will look something like this. And I'm gonna change that so it looks better. And yeah, now we have a large Chinese state. But yeah, China probably won't stay together very long because I mean they are a pretty large country at this point, and the world doesn't like pretty large countries. So yeah, that's gonna happen, first of all. And second of all, we're gonna see yet another rebellion happening all the way in the north here. This Shandong region, I don't really know what it's called still, will also be breaking away. So yeah, China is gonna have to back down a little bit. I mean, to be fair, they were back down for a couple episodes, so can I really blame them? Anyways, naval exploration time. We're gonna see Korea discovering I should know the name of the island. I'm pretty sure it starts with a J, but yeah, they're gonna claim these islands down here. As well as that, they're going to expand up into this part of eastern Russia. As well as this, they're gonna expand this way. Finally, we're gonna see one new country coming into existence, and I'm just gonna pick a randomized color, and I think this is a good color here. This color will be forming a country here, and it will be doing absolutely nothing for now, but we'll probably check back up with them later. And that's, I think, all I wanted to do for East Asia for now. We'll come back there in the next episode, probably, if I remember. And let's head on over to Central Asia, where this guy, they've been exploring. The orange team, to be like clear. And yeah, they've been exploring quite a bit, and they have made their way all the way out to this lake here that I should probably know the name of. Yay. This is just an episode of me not knowing what lakes and islands are called. And I think the name of this island just came to me. Jeju? I might be wrong, but if I'm not, my brain's working. Anyways, back to this orange country, they're going to expand outwards and they will follow the border of this Persian country. And yeah, they are getting pretty expansionist, and they should probably stop their expansion before they do exactly what China did earlier in this video. And unfortunately for them, they didn't really get that message. And we're gonna see a brand new country with I'm once again struggling to find colors, but I think this color works. We're gonna see a new country forming over here in the Turkmenistani region. And this guy, I actually really like the color of. I'm probably gonna like keep that color somewhere. But yeah, I like this color. That might indicate that this country's gonna be around for a bit, but who knows? I'm getting rid of him. Just kidding. Anyways, back to this guy. They're gonna immediately lose more territory, and I've just found a color that I'm surprised I haven't used, and it's this kind of color here. I'm gonna use it for a out outer area over here. This area will be breaking away, forming its own little country, and yeah, that's I think all I wanted to talk about that guy. Now we head on over to the Alliance's layer, to the Diamond Alliance, because the Diamond Alliance has been doing absolutely nothing. But now, with new independent countries and new opportunities, they kind of see a point in expanding their alliance, especially since the religious beef that the brown team has with the green team, as well as the entire Mesopotamian, Arabian kind of area, not really liking these guys. So, yeah, we're going to see them adding one of these new independent countries, and of course, this country will be the new Turkmenistani country because otherwise, the country would not be connected to the alliance, and that wouldn't really make sense. And someone's mad about that, but you know what? Sometimes you lose in life. Anyways, staying on the alliance layer, we're gonna see a country joining an alliance, and this is not really expected, but I mean, it's gonna create some tension. We head on over to this yellow Catalan kind of country because they just joined the Circle team. This is a pretty big move in their country because this country has done absolutely nothing since they gained their independence from the Lime country, I believe. I'm forgetting history. That was probably like 2 episodes ago. My brain's cooked. Either way, this guy is gonna join up with the Circle Alliance here, and that will benefit them quite a bit because now they have the protection of the Circle Alliance, and they are kind of scared of the existence of the Triangle Alliance as a whole because the Triangle Alliance is pretty strong. They have the two strongest African countries. I forgot about you. The second and third strongest African countries. I don't know who is stronger of these two. Probably you, but who knows? Yeah. Anyways, they have the two strongest West North African countries. I'll just say that. And then they have the Lime team, which is probably one of the strongest in Europe. They're definitely stronger than each individual member of the Circle Alliance at this point. So yeah, there's competition in this region, and the Circle Alliance is kind of squeezed in here by the squares and the triangles. What would happen if those guys teamed up? Who knows? That won't be happening because I don't want that to happen because then it would be less interesting. And I like the colors of this region. I kind of want to keep them. Anyways, let's head on over to East Africa with this Horn of African country that I accidentally just zoomed into entirely because they're going to be doing something. And that is expanding. And I mean, this guy's done absolutely nothing since they came onto the planet. So, I mean, this does kind of make sense, but I mean, at the same time, why are you doing this now? You've existed for a while. But yeah, anyways, we're going to see them consolidating their territory over here. As well as that, they've been putting some work in. And by putting some work in, I mean not that, I mean that. And I'm absolutely hating the anti-aliasing that is causing me depression. Yay. Anyways, back to it. We're going to see this guy exploring really far south. They've explored most of Ethiopia. And now they're exploring all the way into Mozambique. This is kind of huge because, I mean, nobody's been this far south. This is the furthest south anyone's been, and it happened very quickly, relatively. I mean, this has been going on since this country came into existence, but I mean, most of it actually happened since the beginning of this episode. So, good on you, I guess. And yeah, let's check how this guy will be expanding. They're gonna expand into this land here, and that's actually it, because we're gonna see a few communities setting up further south. The first country that will be setting up will be a kind of Tanzanian blue country, and this guy will immediately consolidate borders with countries that I haven't drawn in yet, but they will exist. But yeah, this will be their northern border, and their southern border will look something like this. I might change that actually. You know what? It's fine for now. But yeah, we're gonna see this country looking like this, and now we head down to this area where we're gonna see yet another country coming into existence, and this will be this Mozambique-ish country. I don't know what they would be called, but that's what they're gonna be called, Mozambique. And yeah, finally, we get to our last country, which will kind of resemble Kenya, another country who has never existed in the WICSO series, and I kind of wish they had more acknowledgement in It Is Pros WICSO, but I mean, it's just Kenya, so what's that going to cause? Anyways, with those three new countries being established, we can go ahead and go over to West Africa now, where some of the same exact things have been happening, like exploration, for an example, because these guys have been exploring quite a bit, and they've actually explored really far. They've explored all this coastline up into this Nigerian area, all the way over here in the east, and yeah, we're gonna see a whole bunch of communities beginning to form across this area of Africa that probably wouldn't form without this Moroccan guy. But yeah, we're gonna head over here to this first area here, which will be this Senegal-ish area, where we're gonna see our first country forming. And this guy will probably not be bordering anyone. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm coming up with this as I go still. I still don't have plans for how this is going to go out. Most of my plans are still for later episodes. All I knew is I just wanted to get some countries in this region this episode rather than waiting 50 episodes to do so I can actually talk about colonization when that rolls around. And yeah, that'd be pretty fun to do. Anyways, heading down to this Liberia area, we're going to see yet another country forming, and I kind of feel like going with this orange color here. And yeah, staying with this country, they're gonna consolidate their territory too. Not as much because they don't really need to, but yeah, they're gonna do it anyway. Finally, we head on over to Nigeria, where we're gonna see our final country forming, which will be this very dark green colored country, and they will also be consolidating their borders, even though they don't need to. That's just become a trend in this region. There will be more countries over here, though, I promise. And they will be doing stuff. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Anyways, we head over to the British Isles, where we're going to go ahead and have probably our maybe last event. I don't know. But, yeah, this thing is due to collapse. First up, in the north, we're going to see a rebellion happening in central Scotland that will very quickly lead to a country forming. And this country is, kind of weird because they've just cut the weird British Isle country in two. But you know, that's what you get because this region never wanted to be a part of you. Next up, we head up to the disconnected part of Scotland, where we're gonna see this area breaking away as well. I mean, it's to be expected. It's completely isolated and it never wanted to be a part of you in the first place. And next up is the last state that never really wanted to be a part of the British thing that got forced into it in at least the British main area. And that is this central northern English area here, which will also be forming a country. And it's very small, but it is definitely a country. So yeah, we see these three new countries forming over here. Let's head over to the Isle of Man, where we're gonna see the exact same thing happening. Actually, I hate that color for the Isle of Man, so we're gonna be wrong with this red color. I like that. And now we head on over to Ireland, which is where things get complicated. Because, yeah, I don't know what I want to do here. I think I'm going to divide it into like three. The first state will be over here in the west, or this is not the west, this is the south, and it will be this dark cyany color. The next grouping will be a grayish color in the north, and this guy will be um, I don't know what they will be. I don't know where that sentence was going. And finally, we're going to see a weird, light goldish country in the eastern part. It's a much smaller country, but it's probably the most populated. Anyways, now moving on to you. You are cooked. And we're going to see first a small Wales country forming over here. This guy is pretty irrelevant, but they're gonna come into existence anyways. Now we head on over to this pinkish Cornwall country. I don't know what color this is, but it's gonna become a country. And finally, we're gonna see our last country in the Cornwall region. And I don't know why I said finally because this is not even close to the last country. And I feel like the color this guy should be is this nice little green color. I like that. And yeah, it looks even better when it's fully colored in. Now I move on to the uh I guess next Welsh country. I don't really know what this region is up here. I'm pretty sure that's where Liverpool is, but you know what? I'm not gonna bother. I I'm not familiar with Wales, so yeah. And finally, we're gonna hopefully finish up with this because I'm tired of saying finally. And yeah, we're gonna see one last country forming over here through the rest of Wales. And for now, you're not gonna die. That's surprising, but yeah, there are a lot of countries over here. And now we got to place some capitals around some countries. Starting off in this Cornwall country, they're gonna place theirs right there. This guy is gonna place theirs right there. This guy is gonna place theirs right there. You're gonna place yours right there. Yours will be there. Yours will be up here. Yours will be here. And yours will be here. Heading on over to Ireland, we're gonna see this guy placing their capital right there. You're gonna place yours right there. You're gonna place yours right there. And don't think I forgot about the Isle of Man. They are their own capital. And yeah, I think that's all of the new British countries. Now we can head over to these new African countries we created to give them capitals. Capital, capital, you get a capital, you get a capital, you get a capital, and you get a capital. I think that's all African countries as well. So yeah, let's head over to Asia, where you will be getting a capital, you will be getting a capital, you will be getting a capital, you'll be getting a capital, and you will be getting a capital. And I think that is not all because we have these guys. You will have yours, you right there. I don't know where that Y came from, but yeah, and you will have yours there. And we're going to continue with that because we're going to see yet another country breaking away from this English kind of thing. And that's going to be this red country that does not take over all that land here. And soon after that, we're going to see yet another country forming just to the north of it. And that will consist of this land here. Finally, we're going to see a massive split. And this thing will be splitting into three. The first group will be the populated area group in the north area here. They are going to be this purplish color here. And then finally, we're going to see a split, which will be represented by this brownish color here, which will take all this land here, leaving just this remainder down in the south. We now have a lot of countries in the British Isles, and it's time to give each of them a capital. This pink-ish country already has a capital, so we don't need to give them a new capital, but we do need to give capitals to each of these guys, which isn't really realistic because there are definitely not this many major cities here, but You know what? It's fine. We can count major settlements for now. That works. But yeah, let's head on right over to Ireland, where this thing is pretty unstable. To start off, we're gonna check up with these two over here, the gray team and this weird-ish thing here, because we're going to see a country kind of declaring independence from both of them, which is kind of weird because I mean that's not really happened before. But a country will gain sovereignty from two different nations around the same time, and this will be a weirdly shaped yellow country, and it's going to be a very tall nation, and it's going to cut the tan country into two. And this is going to kind of cause another thing to happen, and that is the seizing of this land over here by this guy here. Soon after this, we're going to see this guy splitting, as we're going to see the Northern Irish area breaking away and forming its own new country. After this, we're going to see this main area over here, the main populated area at least, breaking away and forming its own new country as well. With that, I think our Ireland update is about done. Might as well add like a new country down here or something to give equal representation to each of these regions. And yeah, I think that will look like this. And I'm not gonna give these guys capitals because they're kind of small, and I feel like that would clutter up the map. So I'm not gonna do that. But now we're gonna head on over to where do I want to go to? Probably over to the Mesopotamian region here, because this yellow country is having some internal struggle. And what is this internal struggle? Well, this region over here in Qatar is a little rebellious, and it's going to break out into straight up rebellion pretty quickly. And yeah, the northern regions of Qatar as well as Bahrain will try to gain their independence here. And very quickly, they're going to realize that the yellow team is pretty incompetent and unable to fight them off. So they're going to be successful in this. They're actually going to be able to create their own country. And yeah, their capital is not even going to be on the mainland. Their capital will be placed over here on Bahrain. So yeah, you can see the basically all the country, and it looks like it doesn't have a capital, but it does have a capital. So, yeah, uh-huh. I don't know what else to say about that guy, but yeah, that does happen. And let's head on over to Central Asia here, where I kind of want to talk more about this because this has been pretty silent in a way. I feel like more would be happening here. And we're going to be seeing that because this area is being very quickly explored and a lot of interest is being gained in it. They're going to reach the mountains in Kyrgyzstan, and they're also going to explore pretty far up northward into Kazakhstan. At this point, multiple countries are looking towards expanding into this region. More specifically, the Orange team sees more opportunity to expand, which is their favorite thing in the world. So they're going to go ahead and begin to do that, as they will go ahead and claim all this land here, which is a pretty healthy size of land, if I do say so myself. And yeah, they're going to be forced to stop their expansion at this point. We now head down to the bluish country here, who will be gaining some land, but not all too much because they are pretty large for their population size and they don't want to create too much pressure internally, so they're not going to do all that. From here, we're going to look at this purplish pink country, this Persian guy. They're going to be expanding into all this land over here, and they're going to annex it. From here, the green team will continue their outward expansion, but we can't really talk much about the green team because the green team has slowed down and they're kind of falling apart. We'll talk more about that in a future episode, but for now, we're going to head up to these guys up here. First of all, this guy here will go ahead and expand all the way over to the Kazakh Lake. I have no idea what this lake is called still. I should definitely know what it's called, but I don't. So, yeah, they're just going to expand over this way, and they're going to claim this lake here, and they're going to look towards moving their population further out eastward, which will probably benefit them. I don't know. From here, we head on over to this guy who is going to go ahead and consolidate their outer boundaries. And that will look a little something like this. They're going to be a little spikier, but I mean, that's kind of to be a given because otherwise it wouldn't look as cool. But now we have a cool looking border here. And while we're at this, might as well do the Caucasus region here, who hasn't consolidated their outer edges quite yet. So yeah, First of all, this Georgian country will be doing it, gaining all this land here. Then we're going to see the Azeris doing it. They're just going to push up the border a little bit. And yeah, that hints that they're not done expanding. But yeah, let's head on over to this bluish thing here, which will be expanding into all this ground right here. I think this line up here is fine, but yeah, we're going to see this being the borders of this area now. And this is looking like prime real estate for a new country to come into existence, but we'll have to see. Anyways, let's get out of that region and talk about this Russian region over here because it is very quickly becoming explored, as this area is the only place for most Europeans to explore into because, I mean, look at the continent, it's almost fully explored, except for this Russian area, this part of Finland, Iceland, of course, and yeah, that's it. And yeah, this area is gaining a lot of interest in the minds of most of these countries. And the pink team is one of those countries who lost a lot of land and they're eager to get back into expanding. We haven't talked about the pink team in a while, but they've been doing a whole bunch of rebuilding because they fell apart a while ago and they don't want to fall apart again. So they're working on themselves. Anyways, heading up to this guy right to their north, they're going to go ahead and expand kind of along the border of the pink team. Not really, though, because they are a very underpopulated country and they don't really have much of a country, to say the least. So, yeah, this is probably one of the least populated countries in the world, and it has very little control over its territory. So, yeah, take this with a grain of salt. This is probably not what it would look like at all. But yeah, let's head on over to the Estonian region, which is going to go ahead and revolt away from the Polish kind of thing. I don't really know what this is. It's like a mixture of Eastern European and Central European countries. Like it has parts of Belarus, has parts of Germany, of course, most of Poland and the Baltic states. Like what is going on here? But yeah, let's not focus on that and instead focus on the beautiful new state of Estonia that's about to be created here. And this state will be a lot larger than Estonia is in real life. It's going to extend further southward, but does that really matter when it's gaining its independence anyway? No. So yeah, we're going to see Estonia forming here. I'm going to change up this border because I don't really like it. And I think this is the border we're going to run with. For now, at least. I might change something at some point, but yeah, for now, this is what we're going to work with. And yeah, let's go ahead and head on over to Asia, which these countries have been developing for quite some time now. First, we're going to head on over to this Thai country here, which is going to expand up more northward and also eastward. I totally almost didn't forget that direction for a second, but yeah, we're going to see them expanding into all this land here. They're also going to expand all the way down here to this explored area marked here, and we'll talk more about the exploration later after I figure out what's going on with the pixels here, because I have no idea what's going on, and I hate it, and it shouldn't do this. Come on. Okay, I think there we go. We got it. That is hopefully the last time I ever have to deal with something like that. It's not going to be, but might as well hope. Anyways, heading over to the Vietnamese country, they're going to go ahead and expand through this area here, and they're also going to begin taking this coastline off of the Cambodian area here. They also expand more inward towards their northern areas, and this is to kind of consolidate control in the region because, I mean, you have a capital, but if it's like 2 meters away from unclaimed land, how protected it really is it? You got to make sure it's protected, and the Vietnamese are trying to work towards that right now. Anyways, talking about exploration now, this whole area up here has gone ahead and gone explored. As well as this, they've explored all the way down into Malaysia here, where we're going to see a new country forming completely separate from all these other countries. And let's go with this color. It's really hard to find colors that are completely unique, but this will have to do for now. And this country will be dead set on exploring into the area they believe is Indonesia, which it is, but they don't really know that yet. So, yeah, we'll talk more about those guys later, and more so about the Chinese states now, because these guys are going to go ahead and divide up most of the remainder of this territory here. First of all, this greenish thing will claim all this land here, and they're going to connect up with this bluish thing. I'm just calling these things things now, or these countries things now. See, I'm doing it again. It's weird, but yeah. Anyways, let's see this bluish thing consolidate its borders. They're not really going to be consolidating much because really they don't need to. They only need to consolidate their more eastern area here, which they will go ahead and do, but there's not much of a purpose in doing so. Anyways, we're now going to talk about the naval expansion really quickly because at this point, Taiwan has fully been discovered by the naval explorers here, and they've also begun to explore the lower Japanese islands, and they're beginning to realize that there's something here as the Koreans just discovered Japan. That is pretty big, and I need to remember to keep up with my naval exploration on this map because I've just not been doing that. Heading down over back to Southeast Asia is just not. And yeah, let me fix this up really quickly. Not that hard of a fix, but yeah, we'll talk more about naval technology some other time. But yeah, like areas of East Africa, I got lazy here and completely forgot. But now we're gonna see that this is a lot more explored than it is now. And also, Socotra has definitely been explored at this point. Around the western coast of Africa, they've definitely explored most of this. They probably know about Cabo Verde, but I'm not gonna do that right now. And I think that is mostly it. I feel like the North Sea they've fully explored at this point. And I mean, they also know about the White Sea, so explore that. So yeah, I think this is our updated naval knowledge map, except for this lake here, which I'll color now, and these over here. And I think that is perfect now. Maybe. Anyways, I'm not going to get distracted anymore. So I'm going to talk about these guys over here. And the first country we're going to talk about is this guy up here in the north because they are going to expand pretty quickly. They're going to take over all this land here. And that's about all they're able to do because they're going to kind of get surrounded here by this blue Chinese country. This blue country is definitely the main China. Um, that also makes them more prone to want to explode, but I mean, it's okay. Also, episode 100 of WICSO was peak, and I'm realizing now that this series might be cooked with WICSO ending, so yeah, I'm gonna probably have to find something new to do. Just kidding, the series isn't ending. Anyways, back to what I was saying about Taiwan. It has now been fully explored landwise, and this green country is gonna go ahead and make a land claim to it. So, yeah, Taiwan's been fully claimed, and I have no idea what I want to do next because I still don't plan these videos. Yay. We're going to head on over to Africa though. And we're going to talk about these guys for a quick second because they have been rapidly exploring inwards and southwards. Southwards, they've explored all the way down to this area of South Africa, and inwards, they've explored to Lake Malawi and Tanganyika, both respectively, as well as definitely Lake Victoria at this point. They definitely know about these three lakes. As well as this, they have probably explored more and more of Ethiopia. So, this is probably the exploration map we're working with. And I'm not going to forget the water this time. Let's go. But yeah, this is what they know about in this region here. We're going to actually see them expanding more inward. Starting off, we're going to check up with this Tanzanian country because they are the most developed of all the countries in this region. And they will go ahead and claim all the land up to this line I'm creating here. I start talking before I even know what I'm even gonna say. But yeah, we're gonna see the Tanzanian country claiming all this land here, which is a pretty valuable piece of land. From here, we're gonna see the Kenyans expanding into a lot of the area north of this. I mean, it doesn't really matter what they expand into because they're kind of isolated, but yeah, we're gonna see something happening here, and this is some unclaimed land. We'll see how that will get resolved later, but not now. Heading over to this Mozambique country, they are kind of just doing this. They haven't expanded outside of that because they are more focused on what is happening down here. Because we're going to see a brand new country forming up, and this will be this pinkish kind of country. It's just going to kind of spawn in, kind of like how these three did, but yeah, everyone's looking at them and they're wondering what's going on here. So yeah, that'll be figured out some other time. West Africa is a completely different story because these guys are completely disconnected. They don't they don't really care about each other. So yeah, these guys they probably are a little more disconnected and these guys probably have no idea what's happening even up here in Northern Africa. They definitely don't know what's going on in Europe and Asia or East Africa for that matter. So, yeah, these guys are just going to do their own thing. And by their own thing, I mean this Nigerian country will be expanding inward because, I mean, who's stopping them? I mean, they have a pretty large population, I'm pretty sure, because it's Nigeria. It's a pretty populated region, pretty suitable for population growth, but yeah, who knows? Anyways, moving on to this orange country here, they've been working towards exploring a lot of this area here, and they have done that pretty well. And they're going to go ahead and kind of have a group shoot off from them and form their own new country over here in this Ghana kind of region over here. And this new country will begin to rapidly um, exceed, I guess is the right word to use, rapidly exceed what the Orange Country thought they'd be able to do, because these guys are kind of a separatist group because they didn't like the leader of this guy, and they just left. And now the Orange team is mad at them, so they might do something about that, but who knows? Heading up to this guy here, they're gonna expand a teensy bit. I don't see really why they would, but I mean, they will. They're going to take that land there, and they're also going to take some more inland area here, which they're going to take some unexplored land, which implies that this is actually explored land. We just haven't covered the fact that it's been explored. And yeah, I feel like that is what we are now looking at. Heading on over to Europe, we're going to see something bad happening for a certain country that has ruled Europe for a while now. And this will be a massive collapse for their minor groups, because there are a whole bunch of groups within them that are just not ethnically related, and they're gonna want to break away. And this is none other than the Dutch country. They're going to be losing control over a lot of their regions. The first region they're going to be forced to let go is over here in the Alps. We're going to see a new country being created, which will be a weird Swiss mountain kind of country. It's going to be very small, and it's probably never going to do anything relevant, but we're just going to see this guy getting created. And they're gonna be that color. I kind of hate that. Let me make it like a goldish maybe. That works a little better, but still not favorable in my opinion. Anyways, from here we're gonna see this dark blue country kind of getting some land. They're kind of stealing it though, but they're gonna take this land here pretty unopposed, and I don't really like how that border came out, so I'm gonna change how it looks a little bit. Not all too much though, because then that would make it like irrelevant. I think that's fine, maybe. But yeah, let's head on over to their northern area where we're gonna see the independence of the state of Denmark. And this state is pretty influential in their region because they're gonna be able to convince some regions that aren't even part of the ethnic Denmark area to join up with them. This guy is pretty influential. Anyways, we're going to see one last group breaking away, and this group will be a pretty large one because they're going to be over here in this Austrian area, and they are a pretty large group within the Maroon team, but they're just going to kind of break away, and they're going to be able to form their own new country, which I really hate how it looks. I'm going to change it. Think first I'm gonna cede some land over to this blue guy, only to make it look cooler on that side. Then I think I'm gonna give some land to the Venetian country. Um, yeah, I think I like that a little more. And then we're gonna give this little sliver of land here to them, as well as a little more northern land here and a little bit of outer land here. And I think now with this country is gonna look somewhat better. I think I like that better. So yeah, we're gonna see new countries popping up out of the Maroon team, and the Maroon team is scared for their life, so they're gonna implement reforms that are aimed at making their country more stable and protecting them from inevitable collapse if they don't. So yeah, without any more countries to release, we now get to look at these capitals. Yours is there, yours is there, and yours will be there. And there might be some countries I forgot to give capitals, like these African countries. And I'm just gonna dot around some capitals really quickly. If that's not all of them, you need a capital. You're gonna put yours right there. And I think that's it. I think that's every single country. Over here in Europe, the Scandinavian region, because these three countries are going to make a deal with one another. They know basically what most of this area looks like, so they want to make a treaty to designate territory to each and every country. To start off, the Finnish country will be granted land up to this point here, and they will gladly accept this deal. They don't really care about land beyond the area they're already in, and they don't really care about what the other countries want. So they're kind of intent on just getting a share of land and then being done with it. And next, we're going to see the Swedish country getting their share of land, which will look something like this. I made some whoopsies on my mapping, so it looked a little weird for a second. But yeah, that brings us to Norway, who will be annexing most of this area up here, all the way up to where the Swedish border ended. And yeah, up to that area there. And the rest of this is unclaimed as of now, but we have the final borders of Sweden, at least for now. And yeah, heading back to Finland, we're going to see this guy continuing to expand. As first of all, they're going to expand towards this lake that I should definitely know the name of. As well as this, they're going to expand northward in this kind of bubble-like pattern, and this will be what their territory will now look like. As for what they've explored in this region, they've explored the rest of the Kola Peninsula and the Karelian region. So, yeah, Europe is almost fully explored except for Iceland, Svalbard, and so on and so forth, and Russia. You get what I'm talking about, right? And yeah, we're gonna be seeing more of that kind of stuff in the next arc with exploration more specifically. And I'm not gonna say what the next arc is yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, anyways, heading on over down to this region here, we're going to see a brand new country formulating as we're going to see this pinkish kind of country forming over here in the St. Petersburg region. This guy will start off pretty small, but they definitely have potential for expansion. And so they will go ahead and formulate over here. And from here, I kind of want to create a border with them in this yellow-ish kind of country. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do here, as I don't like how this thing looks right now. So I think that will make it look better for now. I might change it later. And honestly, this color's kind of bothering me, so I think I might change it to something like this. No, I might just completely change the color. Um, I don't know. I think maybe another blue in this region could make good contrast. So I'm gonna have it as this kind of color for now. If it is like a bother or an eyesore, I can always change it later. So that's what we're gonna be working with for now. Now we head on over to the Caucasus region, where we're gonna see the Georgian country going ahead and expanding into this region to the north of them. And this region is very underpopulated, so it's not like they're getting much out of this. And yeah, from here, we're going to see the Azeri country expanding as well, as they're going to take a lot of land. And yeah, they're looking pretty big. They have about half the Caspian Sea under their grasp. That's pretty cool. But now we're going to head on over to the Green Team, who is getting a little expansionist. They've explored all the way up to this region here, and they're going to go ahead and draw themselves some new borders. And starting off in the east, these borders will be pretty chaotic looking. It's a green team, so it's about as much as you'd expect. And yeah, this is what the new borders of the green team will go ahead and look like. But the green team is not stable whatsoever, and with this expansion, they kind of promote uh, groups to do something like this. And what this is a breakaway region formulating away from the green team. And that's just one. Because now we head on over to this Afghanistan kind of region here, because we're going to see a massive group breaking away that will control most of the land that the green team literally just took over. And it's kind of funny how quickly they lose control of this, because, I mean, it's just the green team. I have nothing else to say. The green team is, there's something. But now we're going to head on over to the brown team, who is on their last legs. If I'm gonna be honest, the brown team I never had any big plans for, and yeah, we're gonna see their collapse here, kind of being a something that I've been like looking forward to, if I do have to put it into words. But yeah, we're gonna see this brown team beginning to finally fall apart. I've been saying this for the past few episodes now, and we're gonna see it finally happening. Starting off down here in this region that I was just realigning borders in, we're gonna see the rebellion of this goldish yellow kind of country away from the brown team, and they're gonna be able to very easily gain their independence as they will go ahead and solidify themselves in this region right here. From here, we're going to see the purple team expanding outwards a teensy bit. Not all too much, but enough to make themselves a little more noticeable on the map. And yeah, I think this is how I want to have their borders. Whoa, that is not right. But yeah, I think that's how I want to have their borders for now. From here, we're going to see this cyanish country expanding southward into this region here, as many other people are still in this area, and so they expand into it. From here, I'm going to just fix the borders of this area while I'm at it. The brown team will take this land. They're also going to be taking some land away from the cyan country, because the cyan country is a weird shaped thing that I don't like. But yeah, this is the new border of the region. And now we can continue to look at the collapse of India. And this will mostly be seen as we're going to see a very dark purple country formulating over here in the north. And this country will go ahead and take over all the land up here that is kind of unorganized by the Indians. But yeah, the brown team's going to lose all that. From here, they're going to lose a lot of their northern land, as well as yet another country will be gaining its independence. This time it's going to be this weird kind of light reddish thing, and I'm probably gonna change that to like this color. Yeah, I like that. And yeah, yet another new country has formed. And at this point, we're gonna see one last country formulating out of this whole mess, and that will be this kind of light green colored country. And yeah, they are pretty opposed to the brown team. And I'm actually gonna change them to like a maybe a bluish, because colors in this region are not really working well with each other. So I think I'm going to do that. And at this point, we can now go ahead and place capitals on each and every one of these countries. Starting off with the brand new yellow country, they're going to have their capital right there. This blue one's going to have their capital there. And this red one's going to have their capital there. And the dark purple one will have their capital all the way up here. So yeah, new countries. As well as this, we can give capitals to each of the new countries that appeared out of the green team, Bop and Bob. So yeah, capitals have been placed. Now we can go ahead on over to China, who is a little unstable as well. But yeah, we're gonna see that in a different manner here, because in other places the people just rebelled and formed their own new countries. Here we're kind of just gonna see people going off and forming their own country if they don't like their government. So the blue Chinese country to the north will lose a lot of people, and these people will move down south to this region here, where they're going to go ahead and formulate their own new country. This country will take a little bit of land from each of the countries they took population from. So yeah, they're going to look like this. And I really like how this country looks, actually, so I'm going to keep them like that. And from here, we're going to see the blue Chinese country kind of expanding along their border. There is one exception to this, however, in this region here, where we're going to see a group of provinces, or I don't really know what these would be called, breaking away and forming their own new country here. And this will be, uh, I'm blanking on the name of this region. I know the name of this region, but I'm blanking once again, and I thought this would look cool up here, but I'm gonna change it to look something more like this. And now is the time in the video where I take a little break from the actual content to talk about me. I made a VODs channel recently, so if you watch my streams that I used to like talk about every single video, then yeah, those are being uploaded there now. You could also watch the streams on this channel. I stream them on shorts, so vertically. The VODs are horizontal, so if you want to see me when I'm actually live horizontally, you can go check out my Twitch, which is, I believe, linked in the description. I don't know if I'll remember that, but yeah, it should be in the description. But yeah, it's also in my profile on YouTube. So if you don't see it down there and you want to follow me, just follow through the channel itself. Anyways, that's enough yapping. It's time to place some capitals on these two countries because they want them. I don't have a better way to explain that, but yeah, we have two new countries formulating over here in China, and yeah, I'm really liking how this Eastern Asian dynamic is kind of forming. So let's get out of East Asia and head down to Southeast Asia down here, where we're gonna see this weird Malaysian, Malaccan kind of country going ahead and expanding into the island of Sumatra, which is not at all explored yet, but as we're going to see, it's going to become very quickly explored as the Malacca kind of country really wants to kind of move into these warm tropical areas. They're going to see some success in doing that as they are a pretty navally explorationist, prestigious country. I have no idea what I just said, but yeah, they're going to discover a lot of the coastline surrounding many of these Indonesian islands. They know about most of the coast surrounding Borneo and Java, but they just haven't gotten to exploring it yet. As well as this, they're going to go ahead and discover the coastline around these islands over here, but once again, they're not going to explore that quite yet. At this point, naval technology around the world is advancing quite a bit. And we're going to see the expansion of knowledge around these areas in the water here, as now in areas like Japan, we're seeing these whole areas being fully explored by these countries. I have no idea if this reflects how it worked in reality because I don't know much about ocean exploration over time, more so about exploration of land over time. And of course, that's the one area where this can't really match. Otherwise, it's going to end up being the same, or there's just going to be a whole bunch of countries everywhere that have nothing to do with each other. And that's just boring. So, yeah. Anyways, as you can tell, I have highlighted the entirety of Japan, which will go ahead and get explored by all of these different countries in the region. At this point, the Korean country will begin to set voyages straight over into Japan, and from here, they will begin to set up settlements across the Japanese islands. More particularly, we're going to see settlements in the southern islands over here on the western side of this island, and on the far western area of this island over here, as Korean people begin to settle in the new Japanese islands. And also, they're going to set up a small one in the northern of this area of this island. From here, I don't think anyone would claim these islands quite yet. I feel like that's something that would happen later. And the Koreans will set up a very small colony over here in this area here. And are these really colonies? Not really, but they can be if it comes down to it. But I wouldn't really consider them colonies. From here, we're gonna actually stay in this region, as we're gonna see Korea exploring northward into this Manchurian area, as they're gonna actually lose control over one of their most valuable regions, which is this area up here. It will be breaking away from the Korean country to go ahead and form its own brand new country here. And yeah, Korea's kind of mad about that, but they can't really do anything about it. So they're just gonna have to let this happen, as this country will expand directly northward into the area they just explored into. So Korea's salty about that, but it's not like they can do anything. Anyways, from here, we're now going to head on over to Africa because we left some things unfinished here in the last episode, and we're going to talk about them. First of all, this thing, and we're going to see it getting divided pretty unequally between these two countries, as this southern area will be given to Tanzania, and the northern area will be given to the Kenyan country here. Kenya gets more land, and that's going to make the Tanzanians pretty mad. But the Tanzanians can't really complain because they are more focused on expanding over here to the Lake Tanganyika, and they're gonna go ahead and expand all the way over here. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. It's just what they do. They're gonna explore the other side around it, but nothing much will come of that. They're gonna explore up into the Ugandan area, but nothing will really come of that. Nobody expands into it. But yeah, from here, we're going to talk about the Mozambique countries because they've been exploring a lot, more particularly South Africa, and more so the pink country they've been exploring down here. But yeah, these guys have been putting in a lot of work in expanding and exploring, and we now get to see what that kind of looks like. To start off, a brand new country has gone ahead and formed over here in this area here. It's kind of connected to these guys up here, but it's getting more different and more different the further south you go. And yeah, from here, we're going to see one last country forming, which will go ahead and be this South African country here, as this region has been settled fully. And this region will become actually the most populated country of all the countries that have formed over here in the southern New African region. Anything south of this line, they're the most populated. More so, even anything south of this line, they're the most populated. These four are just really populated because of their connection to the rest of the world. People like this area. So, yeah. Anyways, uh, without more yapping, we're going to talk about this area because these guys have been exploring quite a bit. The Mozambique country in the north has gone ahead and explored a lot of this land up into Zambia. And they will go ahead and, well, explore it. And now we're going to see these guys expanding into this land and kind of linking up with each other. First of all, this northern Mozambique country will be expanding up to these lines over here. The southern Mozambique country will be expanding up to their border here, but they will also be exploring down to this area here, where they will go ahead and take over a lot of area, given how small they are. From here, we're going to see this new maroonish kind of country expanding pretty much in line with their neighbors, and they're going to expand into all this region here. And from here, we're going to see the South African country being the only country left to expand, and they're going to expand into a lot of this region here. They're not very intent on expanding, more so on building their population and whatnot up. From here, we're going to see the coastline of this area being massively, that's not the word I wanted to use, quickly explored by each of these countries, as at this point, this region is kind of priority for a lot of these countries. They want to explore down here. And I want to say, many times I've done scenarios like this, and never once have I gotten civilization down to South Africa before colonization stuff happened. So I'm kind of proud of that. Anyways, we now get to talk about this West African region. Not much has been happening here, but they have been exploring into a lot of this inner area, and it's kind of just developing. Um, I don't really know how else to explain it, but these guys have been developing their countries, and they have been slightly expanding. To start off, we're going to see this orange country. They have expanded up to the border of this guy up here. As well as this, they have explored all the way over, or not explored, expanded all the way to this line here. From here, we will talk about the Senegalese country because they have prioritized expanding up northward to kind of link up with the country they kind of sprouted off from. That's what they've been prioritizing. And yeah, from here we head on over to the Ghanan country. God, I can't say Ghanan for whatever reason. But yeah, we're going to see this country beginning to expand up northward. And yeah, they're going to stop pretty quickly because they have a relatively low population for how populated this region is in real life. On the other hand, Nigeria is very populated, and they will go ahead and very quickly expand up to the border of Ghana, and they will go ahead and now expand northward in this region. I'm trying to make this border look not bad, and I don't really know how I'm going to do that, so yeah, it's just happening as I go, so forgive me if I create an absolute atrocity here, but I think I'm going to work with this for now. So yeah, these two have linked up, and these two have linked up. That's basically all that will happen over here in the West African region for now. We'll see more of this stuff happening later on in the series. Now we move up to these guys over here because they have been doing some expanding on their exploration knowledge. I keep saying the wrong words and I keep trying to phrase them into sentences that still make sense to what I want to say, but then it just sounds wrong. It makes sense, but it just sounds so wrong. And yeah, at this point, we're going to see all these countries knowing about all this land here, and hence we're going to see the grand expansion, is what I'm going to call it. It's definitely not going to be called that by these countries. But yeah, starting off with Morocco, they're going to expand outward into this deserted area here. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about that because they will annex all this land here, and now their country looks much larger. From this point onward, we are just gonna create like boundaries. They won't be consolidating their borders with the middle of nowhere, so there's no point in doing that. So yeah, we're gonna see the Cyan team being the next, as they will go ahead and take this land here, and then the Libyan country will continue the expansionist train as they will go ahead and expand into this land here, as well as this. They're going to create consolidated borders to their east, having this land a part of their territory. At this point, we head on over to Egypt, who is pretty intent on expanding. They're glad this time of the episode has come around because they've been wanting to expand. And this is where this will kind of end because I don't want to talk about these two yet because I have plans for them for some time in the future that I want to convey. Now, onto the religion map. Let's very quickly go through what's been updated. To start off, the blue religion, it's just been expanded to where the Norwegian and Swedish countries have expanded up. The yellow religion has a new offshoot, which is this darker yellow, and it contains all of Finland and the remainder of the unclaimed land north of them. Next up, we saw the massive expansion of the yellow religion outwards into Eastern Europe here, into Russia. And we also saw them expand down into this area here. And yeah, that's a lot for them to expand into. Next up, with this light red religion, they expanded down into this region here in the Horn of Africa. The red religion actually didn't do anything. Same for these two religions in India, as well as this one. I mean, more so the two green religions. They're not both in India because that would be bad because this religion hates that religion and this region hates that region. So yeah, you don't want that. Anyways, we see a new religion popping up over here, and this is another offshoot of the green religion over here in Central Asia, completely different. Hence, it's a much different shade. So yeah. Next up, another new religion has gone ahead and formed over here in East Asia. This one's definitely gonna divide some point. Just yeah. Anyways, let's get into the content. And we're gonna start off in our brand new African countries because we're gonna see some stuff happening. To start off, we're going to see a new civilization kind of forming off of all these other ones that have been expanding in this region. And this will be in the Ugandan kind of region. I don't really know what to call it because, well, obviously this isn't Uganda in this timeline, but it's just going to be called that. And yeah, we're going to see the state of quote unquote Uganda being created over here. And yeah, now we have a new country in this region, and I'm really loving the color dynamic of this Eastern African area. I might save these colors because obviously this region's going to get colonized eventually. Maybe when it uncolonizes, we can keep these colors. I don't know. I really like this color dynamic. And yeah, let's move right north of that to this thing in Somalia because it's going to go ahead and expand dramatically. Like this thing is expanding really fast and it's kind of becoming a concern. A concern to my eyes, that is, because I do not like this border they have with the Kenyan country here. So I'm going to change that pretty quickly. And now this is what we have. Also going to change this. I don't like this border at all. That made it worse. Maybe if I take some land from Kenya instead of giving it all to Kenya. That kind of helped. I don't know. I feel like I need to do something here still. But yeah, back to this guy. They have gone ahead and explored much deeper into the continent, and they're gonna kind of become a state solidified in the Horn of Africa. But at the same time, they are really unstable because they just expanded really quickly, and that's never a good thing for a country to do. So they're about to fall apart. We're gonna kind of see that here as we head to the very south of this thing, where we're gonna see a kind of rebellion. I don't really know what it would be classified as, but we're gonna see this southern kind of coastal region here rebelling away. If I can get it to do the right color, that's still not doing what I want it to do. There we go. But yeah, we're gonna see this whole region down here rebelling, and this region will remain in rebellion for quite a while, up until we see it kind of having a rebellion inside of it. And we're gonna see this teal country kind of cleaning up. And from here, the teal country is kind of tired and they can't do anything. So they're going to allow this thing to become its own small country, long as it doesn't ever like attack the teal country. And they're going to be fine with that because they obviously opposed the rebellion they were kind of born within. So if they hate them that much, then they gotta somewhat agree with you. So, I mean, I guess this thing will become a country to their own. Honestly, I don't know what I'm yapping about, but they're gonna become a country. That's all that needs to be known. Next up, we head over to Socotra, which will be claimed by this orange country. And yeah, that thing was definitely explored a while ago. I just completely forgot about it, if I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, from here we head on over to the Sudanese country, and they're gonna expand 18C-bit before their government says no, you're out. And so we're gonna see a small, pretty pointless rebellion coming out of the Eritrean region, and this rebellion will proclaim a new state that will basically do absolutely nothing, but it shrinks the Sudanese country down to where they don't want to exist anymore. And from here, uh, they're gonna do absolutely nothing. Except I want to fix this up. This has been bothering me for a while now, and I want to make this not bother me. So let's just pretend they had all this land inland for a while now, and they're just gonna go ahead and do something like that. I think I like that. And obviously, with the border I created, the Egyptian country will be taking this land here. And yeah, the blue team's looking pretty large, but it's not like anybody's gonna do anything about it. And from here, we're gonna head on over to Europe because this is a mess, and I don't like it. So yeah, let's start off over here in this weird cyany country because we're going to see a rebellion all the way over here where this thing will become a new country. Following this, we're going to see a brown group forming over here and a lightish gold thing happening here. At this point, we're going to see another rebellion here and then yet another one all the way on the inside, taking all this land over here, even taking a little bit of land from the Northern Grey team. At this point, these communities in Ireland are kind of just falling apart pretty quickly, and it's very easy for regions to gain their independence in this kind of war-ridden region. I don't know if there's necessarily much conflict. I'd say it's probably more so instability that's going on, and it's just tearing these guys to shreds. But yeah, for now, we're gonna see countries gaining independence back to back to back, and we're gonna have one more over here in this area as this region will break away from this guy. And yeah, obviously none of these guys are gonna have capitals, because that would just make a yellow polka dot mess, and I don't want to deal with that. I only did it with the English countries because there aren't nearly as many small ones, and it's a lot easier to manage. Whereas, yeah, no. Anyways, that's enough of that. To, um, let's head on over to Central Asia because this area has been slowly getting explored over time. And yeah, more specifically, we've seen this area around Kyrgyzstan getting a little more explored. We're actually going to see a mountain community kind of getting set up in this region. And it's kind of weird because this region is like not hospitable at all. But they're gonna do it anyway. And they're gonna kind of get away with it. It's gonna be a very small country, but it's gonna be relatively successful. And yeah, you can't really complain. It's not that small and it's just doing its own thing. Now we're gonna completely ignore that country I just created to head on over to these Indian countries because they are going to go ahead and expand. To start off, this one over here in the far west is going to expand into these territories here, and their neighbor, who is kind of a weird shape that I don't like, will also do the exact same thing, and they're going to create this absolute jumble mess that um, I didn't intend to create, and it kind of just turned to chaos. So this is what they will actually be looking like. Something like that. Give them that thing. Uh, yeah, no, I'm gonna revert that choice, and I'm going to give that to nobody. So, yeah, this thing is absolutely disgusting, and I hope I get rid of it sometime soon. But yeah, let's head on over to the brown team, who's going to go ahead and lose some more land to this purple team, who they just fought a brief war to. And yeah, they're gonna lose land there, but they're also gonna lose quite a bit of land here. And yeah, the brown team is on their last legs here. If you're still rooting for this thing, like, get get out, bro. Nobody's rooting for the brown team because nobody watches this far into the videos. Yay. Anyways, heading down to this guy, they're going to go ahead and reprioritize themselves a little bit as they're going to go ahead and expand north quite a bit as they're going to take over all this land here, allowing for the rest of this region here to fall under Thai control. From this point, we're going to see them expanding up to the northern tip of Sumatra because they're going to go ahead and claim these islands up here, which hadn't even been explored yet. But I mean, you know what? You do you. From this point, we're going to see them kind of setting up posts of their empire along regions that they don't even know what's going on here. Like they're going to set up colonies in Borneo and Java before they really know what even the island fully looks like. I mean, Borneo, they know like the whole western side, but Java, they only know like half of the northern side, and then the south, they're just completely clueless. Anyways, from here, we're going to check up with our good old buddy Vietnam if I don't zoom in directly here. That's one thing I hate about this application because it just does that randomly, and I can't really do anything about it. Anyways, where was I? Vietnam. Vietnam's going to begin to expand more inwards as they now have a much larger population, so they're able to do this with basically no one opposing. And yeah, heading on over to the Burmese country, I guess I'm gonna call them. I don't really know if this like classifies as Burma because I don't really know what the difference between Burma and Myanmar is, if I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, I'm just gonna call them this green light green team for now. And yeah, that's complete contrast to Bangladesh, who I will be calling Bangladesh because I know that's what their region is absolutely definitively called. And yeah, they're going to be expanding to their north, where they're going to be taking over quite a bit of territory. And I like this border I've just created a little. Might expand this area over here, something like that. I'm making it worse. Maybe something like that. Or no, that's not what they need. They need to expand up this way into undiscovered territory. Great. Keep making it worse. Maybe now I do that. I think I actually like that. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with that. And from here, we can go ahead and obviously now explore this land because I mean it's controlled. And yeah, at this point we're gonna see the light brown country expanding up to this point over here. I already like this weird thing, so I'm gonna keep it. And yeah, this is the new map of India. I'm liking it a lot, a lot. And yeah, now let's head over to China, where we're gonna see some more political instability because this thing cannot keep itself together. So yeah, who's gonna be breaking away this time? Oh, it's an actual rebellion? Okay, we are not equipped to deal with that. So how about we just let it go? Okay, says the government. And this thing will be, first of all, getting its independence, but they will also be expanding a lot farther than their rebellion had even claimed. So, yeah, that shows how weak this Chinese country is becoming as it continued to shrink, and shrink. Remember that the blue Chinese country technically controlled like all of this land here at one point, and they've just been slowly falling apart. And it looks like there's about to be one last divide here. Who knows? But let's head on over to Korea, who is continuing the colonization of Japan, as they have gone ahead and taken over all these southern islands here. And they have also gone ahead and taken over these two major islands here, and a lot more in mainland Japan. Is this considered mainland Japan? I don't really know if you can call it mainland because, I mean, it's an island still, so really, I don't know. Up in Hokkaido, they will kind of set up another colony in the main island near it, but this doesn't go very far. And yeah, that's about all we have to update in Japan. Let's head over to continental Korea, where they are doing a lot more. And by a lot more, I mean expanding into absolutely nothingness, as they're going to go ahead and take this land here, and their neighbor of this weird thing will expand into this. And at this point, we need to talk about this weird thing because they have been putting in a lot of work towards exploring this region over here. And yeah, they didn't explore all this southern area. I was just doing that because I'm doing this. But they have explored into a lot of this region in central-ish Asia. I don't really know what this region is, this Mongolian kind of area. But they're basically going to say, oh, hey, that's cool. Let's kind of just do that. And nobody really opposes it because, well, who will oppose it? And yeah, very quickly, we're going to see this thing rapidly expanding into the middle of nowhere. As, yeah, they're just going to kind of reach this lake. Then they're going to continue over. And it's at this point, like, what is this even meant to be? That we're going to see some countries beginning to break away. The first thing we will see is a country all the way over here in the far west that will be breaking away from this, and it will be this guy here. Next up, we're going to see another light pink country breaking away. This will be this region over here. Next up, we're going to see them completely losing control of a region to the south here. And that will be not that undiscovered land, but that will be this region here. And from here, we're going to see this remaining region kind of being divided in a weird way, because we're going to see a new country being created right here, except I don't really like the color, so I'm probably going to do something like that. And from here, we're going to see this thing continuing to get divided and divided as yeah, this thing kind of expanded without thinking about anything they were doing. So, yeah. Anyways, the next country they will be releasing will be this lightish blue thing. I'm trying to pick colors that look appealing, and it's really hard to do that because my eyes are so used to just random colors, and these aren't quite random because I'm kind of like deciding them while I'm recording this. I didn't have any pre-planned colors, so it's really weird to do. And yeah, from here we're gonna head over to this region up here, which I'm probably gonna redraw the region around it for, where we're gonna see this crazy border thing getting its independence as well. At this point, this pink country is gonna kind of be like, yo, 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 chill out, stop declaring your independence. But then it gets to their central region, where we're gonna see a gold kind of country, kind of just taking power and taking out the expansionist people who resided in this area. They're also gonna claim the capital as their own, because that's what these people do. And yeah, at this point, we're gonna see the remainder of this thing dividing into four. The first one will be a weird one. It's going to be like hardly separate from the new gold team that came into existence, as it's going to control all this region that's right here. From here, there's going to be a divide between one and the other few, and this one will be the largest one I think that has been released as of yet. That will consist of this northern region up here. They're going to take over most of it. And I am once again struggling to find colors I want to use. And it's just so sucky. I think I'm going to roll with this for now. Might make it a little darker. Yeah, I think I like that. But yeah, there are just so many things going on here. This had to have gotten done eventually, and now is just the time I've chosen to do it. And yeah, at this point, I only need to pick one more color. Yay. And that color I'm gonna pick is gonna be like a really dark color. It's gonna be this shade here, as we're gonna see this northern region that I almost just created with 2 pixel gaps breaking away and forming its own new country. And once again, I'm gonna edit the borders of this light green thing because it is absolutely disgusting and I hate it. And I don't know what my brain was thinking when I drew that in, but now we won't have to deal with much of that anymore because I can very quickly change that. And yeah, I think this is what we're gonna roll with for now. Um, I really like these colors now that I'm looking back at it. But yeah, this region is probably gonna be pretty irrelevant for a little while. So don't expect me to bring much attention to it. I just wanted to fill that region on the map because this map, it's looking absolutely beautiful if I'm gonna be honest. And yeah, it's getting to this point in the video. We're going to have to wrap things up. And this last major event will be something that isn't really something happening in this episode, but something that's been happening for a while now. And as you can see, we're on the religion map once again. And here we're going to see a massive divide in the world's largest religion. Led by the Greeks, the Yellow Team religion will begin a split. And this split is led by completely different ideals. The Golden regions believe in more uh, rights in a way, not like rights like democratic, not at all. This is the Iron Age, but more so the rights of someone to be their strengths and their profession to be determined by their skills rather than birth. Like if your father is like a miner, like that's a weird word to say. Like if he's like digging up copper or something, you're gonna be a copper miner. Or if he's a lumberjack, you're gonna be a lumberjack. And it's kind of unfair. And the people of the East are a little sick of it because these guys are a little more populated, and the larger rich class is more prominent. Whereas in the Eastern countries, the richer class is much smaller. So yeah, these guys are kind of just taking advantage of the smaller the people who are not as fortunate. And from this point, we're going to see this religion dividing into two. And yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode. And I got to end this video, so it's perfect timing. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.